The JFK assassination in about 5 minutes. John F. Kennedy flew to Dallas on November 22, 1963, around noon for a campaign-inspired motorcade through downtown Dallas. The motorcade route had been published in the Dallas Morning News on Tuesday, November 19th. Security was appallingly lacking. Thousands of unsecured windows lined the skyscrapers and buildings on the motorcade route. Several Secret Service agents had been out drinking the night before and into the early morning hours of November 22nd. Lee Harvey Oswald, a ne'er-do-well, one-time defector to the Soviet Union, worked in a building near the end of the motorcade route, the Texas School Book Depository, with a commanding view of its last leg on Elm Street. Oswald, who lived in a rooming house in Oak Cliff, a Dallas suburb, had gotten the job about 5 weeks earlier with the help of Ruth Payne, a woman with whom Marina, Oswald's wife, was living at the time. The FBI, aware of Oswald's return to Texas from the Soviet Union in June of 1962, had interviewed or attempted to interview Oswald 4 times since then. FBI agent James Hosty also knew that Oswald worked at the depository building, and knew, or should have known, that Oswald delivered a note to the FBI office early in November threatening the FBI. As was the case with interagency behavior before 9/11, the FBI did not share information with other federal agencies, particularly the Secret Service, before the assassination. The CIA knew that Oswald had visited the Cuban and Soviet agencies 7 weeks earlier, seeking a visit to Cuba in support of Fidel Castro, but it did not share this information with the FBI or Secret Service before the assassination. Oswald was an avid newspaper reader. He undoubtedly read the Dallas Morning News in the days and weeks prior to November 22nd. The pro-Castro Oswald had read in April 1963 that Castro had accused Kennedy of trying to assassinate him. And Oswald also probably read in September that Castro was now declaring that assassination was a game that two could play. Oswald was proud of his attempt to kill right-wing General Edwin Walker on April 10, 1963, when he fired a bullet with a high-powered rifle that came within a hair of Walker's head. Only Oswald's wife, Marina, knew of Oswald's involvement before the assassination. Oswald subsequently stored the rifle in Ruth Payne's garage in the Dallas suburb of Irving, a fact, again, that only Marina knew. On November 21st, for the first time on a Thursday, Oswald visited Ruth Payne's home, obviously to retrieve his rifle. Buell Frazier, Oswald's ride back to the depository the next morning, November 22nd, saw Oswald bring a full brown paper bag at least 2 feet long, believing Oswald's story that it contained curtain rods for his rooming house. Oswald's room already had curtain rods. Oswald was seen intermittently in the depository building that morning, the last time a few minutes before noon, on the 6th floor. Although always seen with his clipboard on these occasions, Oswald filled no orders that morning. He never produced a plausible alibi for his whereabouts at 12:30 p.m. At that moment, 12:30, 2 witnesses saw a man resembling Oswald fire 3 shots from the 6th floor window, 2 of which struck a mortally wounded JFK. Oswald was the only employee of the depository to leave the building immediately after the shooting, leaving no more than 3 minutes after the assassination. 45 minutes after that, Oswald was stopped by Patrolman J.D. Tippit, and multiple witnesses saw Oswald shoot Tippit 4 times. Oswald was arrested hiding in a theater 30 minutes later. Then, 48 hours later, on the morning of Sunday, November 24th, Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner upset by JFK's death and saying that a Jew needs to show guts, shot Oswald dead in the basement of the Dallas jail. Ruby had been upset that a man named Bernard Weissman had signed an anti-JFK advertisement in the Dallas Morning News the morning of November 22nd, with Wiseman erroneously being thought by some to be somehow involved in the assassination. These are the essential facts that we know to be so, not the speculations that people merely suppose.